I get a lot of people asking me how we were blessed to walk away from corporate America in our early 30s. Well, listen, I don't want to keep that a secret. I want to share it with the world. And so maybe you're listening to this podcast and you're trying to figure out, how do I even get started on my journey of entrepreneurship and getting to a level of freedom? Well, text the word freedom to 737 777 9909. Enter your information in, and we look forward to sharing some information with you. A proven system with small overhead, right? That you can do part-time, spare time, right from the comfort of your home, and have amazing mentors, coaches, and a community of entrepreneurs who are willing to support you and help you on your journey to freedom. Welcome to Code Freedom. I'm your host, Eddie Bales. Have you ever felt stuck? Have you ever felt like there's got to be more than life than the reality that you see every day? Tune in weekly, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays as we crack the codes to freedom in every area of your life. Welcome to Code Freedom. This is your host, Eddie Bales, and this is episode 194 of the show. And I'm super excited today to share with you. Today, we're going to talk about relationship equity. Relationship equity. I think this is a very important subject, especially as it relates to freedom, because you need people. And I think sometimes people don't realize that anything you want to do great, you got to have a team. You have to have people that are helping you, unless you want to break your back and try to do everything yourself, and there's only so much you can do by yourself, but with a team there's no stopping you. And so the reason why I want to talk about relationship equity is because we have to understand, and you've heard this before, your network builds your net worth. And so we're constantly building a network on a regular basis, whether we know it or not. Like, everyone that you know and everyone that knows you, that is a part of your network. And you can tap into so many resources through that network. They say there's 6 degrees to separation, meaning that um, I know someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who knows someone who could land me into the White House. Now the question is, do I want to be in the White House? That's a whole nother subject. But of course, what we're saying is that through relationships, through networks, through people who know people who know people, we can get anywhere. We can accomplish anything. And so, why are we talking about relationship equity? Because uh, you know we have to understand that there's give and there's take. And if you take way too much than you give, then you don't have much relationship equity. You can't go to your friends or someone in your network and say, "Hey, I need help. I need a favor. I need this," because you've always wanted something versus you've given something. You've done something to deserve the right to ask for something, right? Now, don't get me wrong. Some people will help just out of love, right? Just out of GP, being a good people. But um, but you can't ask all the time if you're not giving and serving. So how do we create this relationship equity? It's just like a bank account. If you're constantly putting money into the bank account, then you have funds there when you need to withdraw it. It's the same concept. So if you're constantly giving to your network, right? I'm not saying you have to give all the time. I'm not saying that you have to, um, you know, be walked over or anything like that, or be taken advantage of. That's not what we're talking about here. But we're talking about understanding your relationships and understanding the equity in your relationships. Like, I'll just give you a couple examples. Let's just say you got somebody who's moving. Now, do you offer to help them move, or do you just like say, "Oh, that's nice for them. They'll figure it out." Like, they don't even have to ask you. If you volunteer your time, and if they did ask you, you show up, because you understand. And don't get me wrong, you're not doing this so that you could have a reason to ask for help on the back end. You're doing it just because that's just the right thing to do. However, if you have shown up well, consistently, then you'll be able to pull from those relationships when you need them. And I just cannot tell you how valuable they are when you don't have anyone else that can help you with something. I'll never forget, our refrigerator had went out a few months ago, and I had to get a new one. And I know nothing about. I'm not really a handyman, so I anytime it has anything to do with like fixing something or doing anything of that caliber, I need some help, right? And so because I have some relationship equity with some of my brothers, I was able to call a few of them, and they was able to help me move it from the store, so I didn't even have to pay for people to I didn't have to pay for people to move it. I was able to. I had a friend that had a truck, a pickup truck. I had some fellas who could help me move it, and I had some friends that could help me install it right into the house, in a secure way where it just worked fine. Because, like I said, I'm not really a handy person, so I really needed that help. And so, what I'm saying though is like I think about those relationships and I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that I'm constantly giving into those relationships because I don't want to be the one that always needs to take. I want to be the one that is giving so much that when I'm asking for help, it's no problem. It's no big deal. And that's what relationship equity is all about. You don't want to have a relationship deficit, where nobody wants to do anything for you at any time because, like I said, you've been a taker. So just be mindful, and here's the deal: look for ways to create that balance in relationship equity. So if you know that recently, your network people in your network have done a little bit more for you than you've done for them, then look for ways to balance it out. Like some examples, take them to lunch one day, just cause. Like, hey, what we going to lunch for? Hey, I just wanted to, just wanted to be a good dude, right? I just wanted to, you don't have to have a reason per se, but you just want to look out for them, if that makes sense. You want to foster those relationships. You want to build and grow on those relationships because, like I said, relationships matter, and this happens in every capacity, right? This happens, and I mean, don't get me wrong, and when you're married or when you have a significant other, it's a little different because they're your spouse. But even in that, you want to be the one that gives, right? You want to balance the scales at all times because you just don't want to be that guy, that dude, that lady that always needs something so that people don't really want to do things for you because you've never really done much for them. And it's not that people are going to ask for it all the time. Sometimes you just got to do it, right? Sometimes you just got to look for ways to do nice things for more people so that it just comes back to you automatically. And I just think that's so powerful, and it's something that we should know. It's something that we should be mindful of, and it's something that we should be intentional about because, like I said, we all need people. None of us is as good as all of us, and if all of us can can grow together, all of us can help each other, if that makes sense. So we all need people, and like I said, your network builds your net worth. Think of it this way: wealthy people have such networks that anything they need is in the network. You want to think about that. Like for instance, if you need a mechanic that can help you with your car, boom, you gotta. The goal is you have a mechanic in your network, and you want to almost have this mental rolodex of people that you can pull from if you ever needed to. Right? You need somebody who is in real estate or in insurance, or you need somebody who is a mechanic who's a fixer upper. I got people like that in my network. If I needed someone to help me with something, I have people that I can pull on and draw from. But yes, I have a relationship equity, so I've done for them. So if I needed them, now don't get me wrong, that it doesn't mean that you're gonna always want them to do things for free for you, right? That's important to be mindful of. But at the same time, um, let's just say you did something for them and you paid for it. What if you paid a little bit of extra? And so now they're gonna remember that. So next time you call, they're jumping up to go help you because they're like, okay, I remember last time I only asked this person to give me this much and they gave me that much. So I'm definitely gonna, show up and support my man, show up and support my fam on this situation because they showed out. They gave. They were a giver and not a taker. They didn't ask for my help and then shortchanged me. But or try to get. I mean, you shouldn't want everything for free anyway, right? Sometimes you may have situations, of course, where hey, no problem, people will do things for you for free, but the goal should be just to have that relationship equity, where that understanding, where you know that you can draw from people because of that. And as I was saying, well, like I said, wealthy people, they have this network where they can pull on people when they need to. They can call a favor, they can call a friend. My brother, he would call it back in the day a favor for a favor, right? And so just do favors for people. Just go around and do favors for people, and be intentional about it, and watch how your life changes, because now you have that relationship equity, and you can draw from that well if you needed to. And so, listen, this is a somewhat of a short episode, but before I move on to closing out this episode, we're going to go to our book club. Don't forget, we're still reading our book, and we're excited about it. So stay tuned and listen in for the what we're going to talk about in terms of the book club. Appreciate you all for tuning in to episode 194, and I can't wait to see you on the next episode. Take care, take charge, and we'll see you over the top. Hey, 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 Eddie Bales here. And listen, we are going to move to our book club segment, the Code Freedom Book Club, that is. And what we're reading the book, The Power of One More. And I'm not sure if any of you have gotten the book, but I highly suggest you get it. And like I said, I don't get paid when you get the book, but we are intentional about growing together. That's one of the goals that I want with this podcast, is that we grow together. And so I just want to share something that I got from it, from my reading, and I would love to hear from you all, from what you're getting when you tune into our Code Freedom Facebook group that we have. And you can check that out by going to the way to freedom.info. That's the way to freedom.info. And so I shared this on my social media channels if you follow me, but I just wanted to share it here because I just think it's such a powerful example. And they talked about one more try. Ed Milet, he talked about one more try, and he said, you know, he gives a story of these 5-year-old kids, and they're at a birthday party, and they're hitting a pinata, and man, they whack the pinata. Nothing happens. The first kid, second kid, third kid, fourth kid, nothing's happening to the pinata, and it gets grazed, it gets cracked, it gets it gets beat up pretty bad, but it's for whatever reason not opening. And so this goes on for a little bit until finally they get to the birthday boy. Birthday boy comes up, takes one crack at it, and that whole pinata is broken. The candy's going everywhere. The kids are running all over the place trying to get the candy. And so the question is, was the birthday boy that strong that they were able to crack that thing with one hit, or was it the compound effect of all the hits from all the other kids, and it finally got to the birthday boy, and that is when it opened. So there's this concept he talks in there called, well, he says you're making invisible progress, and I just think that's such a powerful story and such a powerful example, because we don't realize sometimes that things are happening even when we don't see them. They're happening under the surface. I was blessed to do a training in front of thousands of people, well, about 1,000 people, just this past weekend, and it was incredible. But I shared the story of the bamboo tree, and I'm pretty sure I shared it with this audience before, and I won't go through the whole story with it. But the whole point is that you water this bamboo tree for 5 years, and it doesn't even sprout above the ground, and then all of a sudden it goes 90 feet tall in 5 weeks. And but you're watering it every single day, not seeing anything for 5 years, and you're wondering, is anything happening? But what's happening is the roots are growing underneath the surface so strong to be able to support this 90-foot tree. And that's what reminds me of this invisible progress, is that when you're working out, you don't see the progress happening, but it's happening. When you're reading the books and listening to the audios, and you're listening to podcasts like this, you're growing, you're intentionally growing. You just don't always see the results, but you start hearing people say, man, you're different. You sound different. You look different. You this, you that. And that's how you know that growth is happening even when you don't see it. So powerful, powerful excerpt. We're going to continue to do the book club. I'm having fun with it. I hope you guys are as well. And again, make sure you tune into the next episode, and we'll continue to move and groove in the right direction. God bless you all. Take care. We'll see you all over the top. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for listening. Definitely feel free to take a screenshot of this episode, tag me in it on Instagram or Facebook or wherever you find me on social media. I would love to give you a shout out. Hey, you might even get a prize. Who knows? But excited that you had a chance to take a listen. I hope you got a lot of value. And definitely feel free to give us 5 stars as well as a review. Show us some love, and we appreciate you. God bless you all, and see you all over the top.